Hello guys, Blagaga here, and Konami released the new Banlist overnight, so let's have a look at it. So first of all we have Performer per Monkey Board, which is now banned, and I think this is pretty obvious. This is a one card scale. It was searchable by multiple cards like Pendulum, Sorcerer or Joker, which made it really powerful, and on top of that it also had a huge archetype revolving around it, so it had ton of support. So yeah, this card was really too strong and it deserves the ban. Then new ban, we have Kaiser Colosseum. So the only thing that I read online which makes sense is that there's a lock with this card. It's a real hard lock. You basically can't come back into the games even with kaijus, like that's crazy. And the lock basically revolves around a new card called Destiny Hero Dark Angel. And what you do is your opponent cannot activate any spell or trap cards anymore. And on top of that, he also can't summon any monsters. So he completely can't play Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. The only way around this lock is to triple summoning a monster. Then let's check out the limited cards. So we have Master Spectre Unicorn Kirin. This is a really strong card. It cannot be destroyed, it cannot be targeted, and it has a bounce effect even during your opponent's turn, which is a nightmare for any deck that relies on fusion, XYZs or synchro monsters. This card is really too strong, and it even would have deserved a ban, so yeah, it's good that this card is actually limited. Then we have Pendulum Call. This is an interesting choice. My guess is that Konami didn't like the fact that your pendulum skates are not destructible at all, and they probably also didn't like that you can just splash this card into any pendulum deck and abuse it as some kind of strategy to special summon high level monsters like Apex, Avian and stuff like that. So this makes those decks much more inconsistent, and yeah, I think it's actually a good choice. Then we have 3 Monarch cards that got limited. First of all we have Stormforth, and we also got Pantheism. So I talked about those cards actually in my prediction video about the Monarchs, and those cards were the most obvious choices. Other choices would be Domain of the Monarchs, of course, and maybe Aether also, and Aether got also limited, which is in my opinion also a decent choice. I mean, this card generates a ton of plus, sets up your game, it's summonable even during your opponent's turn, which is really strong. So yeah, the limitation of this card really hurts Monarchs, because they need weaker Monarchs to replace this card, and that makes the deck much weaker. Then we have 2 cards that actually weaken Cosmo. So first of all, Emergency Teleport is limited. I think there are multiple reasons for that. They also wanted to restrict a little bit the extra deck Monarchs with this card, so that you cannot special summon Super Quantum Blue Layer as easily. And on top of that, they just want to limit the power of Tin Can maybe. And then of course Dark Destroyer, the big guy, the boss monster of Cosmo. Yeah, it really hurts the deck, I guess. Cosmo Town could also be a decent choice, but I think Dark Destroyer also is a decent pick for the list. And now Burning Abyss also got 2 hits. First of all, Seer went to 1, which is a good choice. This really prevents the deck from floating too much. And then Beatrice got to 1. And surprisingly, Dante didn't go to 1, but Beatrice is basically the new upgraded Dante, and it kinda makes sense to restrict her, but Burning Abyss is still good. PK Fire is still good even after this ban list, and it will be one of the strongest decks after this ban list, probably together with Metal Foes and Blue Eyes. And all the guys who hate my Blue Eyes video now can say, ha, I told you, they didn't hit the deck, you were wrong. Yeah, I guess I was wrong. But it is good that I was wrong. I was afraid that they would hit Blue Eyes way too much, and yeah. Now we have 3 cards that went from 1 to 2. First of all, we have Wind Up Magician, which is really cool, so you can test up with wind ups with this deck, but I don't think this deck will be relevant in the metagame. Like, even with Wind Up Magician at 2 or even at 3, I don't even think with Zen Mighty back the deck would be in the meta. And then we have maxx-c also at 2, which is kinda sad because maxx-c is always a good side deck choice against any deck that likes to special summon like 1000 times in one turn. I really don't think that this was necessary. It's probably like most cards that are played 3 times over and over and over again. Konami sees this and looks at their statistics and says, everybody is playing this card 3 times, we have to just semi-limit it or limit it just to... because we guess that this card is completely overpowered, and that's the reason why everybody plays it 3 times. And the last card that is now semi-limited and was limited is the Thunder King Ryo. This is really cool for anybody who wants to play anti-decks, but with Card of the Mice running around, I actually don't like it. I seriously don't like it with 3 cards of the Mice running around and anti-spell fragments. It's yeah, it's gonna be really tough. But on the other hand, it's also cool that this card is actually back at 2. And now we have 3 cards that are actually now unlimited. You can play 3 times. First of all, 1000 dice restrict. So it's been out and nobody actually cares about this card. So it's just normal that this card went to 3, which is completely fine with me. Then also we have Allure of Darkness. This is actually crazy, because especially with Dark Lords and all these dark decks like Destiny Heroes coming around, this card at 3 copies, that's actually pretty strong. It's also kinda a buff for all Cosmo players, because they now have 3 Allure of Darknesses. So yeah, that's actually pretty strong. And then we have 3 Goldsuck. Goldsuck is gonna be a really good card in Ritual Beasts or Shiranui decks. Like, Goldsuck is actually pretty good. Also maybe in Psy frames. I don't know if this card is maybe too good at 3 copies, but let's wait and see. Maybe it does completely nothing. So now to my verdict. This is actually a pretty good list. I'm not completely fine with Allure of Darkness going to 3. I think it should stay at 2. Also, Goldsuck should go to 2 instead of 3, just to test it out, how good it is in certain decks. But I think overall it's a really good list. But there are actually 2 things that I really don't like. First of all, there are a few cards that didn't get hit at all. Like, for example, Card of the Mice didn't get hit. They also didn't hit any card from Blue Eyes, like Gospel of Revival or Return of the Dragon Lords. That card should really go to 1 or to 2, in my opinion. It's really strong. And also a fact that I really hate about this list is that they didn't bring more unnecessary cards that are on the ban list. Like, for example, Compulsion Device could really come back to 2, or Book of Moon just could come back to 3 and nobody would actually care. I don't even think that Subterrors would play this card 3 times if it came back. Like, seriously. This card just come back. Nobody would care. And also some cards like Insector Hornet, they could really just get rid of all these cards on the ban list and unlimit them immediately. It wouldn't change a thing. So yeah, also Solemn Strike. Where's Solemn Strike? Solemn Strike should go to 1 or to 2, but yeah, at least Kaiser Colosseum is banned, I guess. So that's for this ban list. And if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. It's a really small channel and it gives me a huge motivation boost to make upcoming videos. I wish you all a great weekend. Plugger signing out. Bye.